Hello guys, welcome to Selenium XPath tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to cover how to find Selenium XPath for any web element on the web page using the XPath strategies that we'll discuss in this particular tutorial series. Now, why I'm coming up with the new Selenium XPath series is because when we were doing this robot framework locating web elements tutorial series or robot framework series, then because Selenium supports these different 8 strategies to identify the web element on the page, for example, ID, name, link text, partial link text, class name, tag name, CSS selector, and XPath. Now, most of the time you will see that the ID and name, if they are present for the web element and it is unique, you will be able to identify the element by ID and name. Similarly, for the link text and partial link text, as far as on a particular page, the link text or the partial link text is unique, it will be fine. But just in case you are not able to find the unique attributes like ID, name, link text, or partial link text, in those sort of scenarios, you will rely on the XPath or CSS selector. And it doesn't matter which Selenium framework or you are using. So for example, I'm using robot framework. I'll also be using Selenium with Java, or somebody might be using Selenium with Python. The web element locating strategy for the web page web element will still remain same. So that is why I came up with the complete new series to find out the Selenium XPath web element, which you can utilize in different framework for figuring out the web element on the web page. So let's get started and understand what exactly is XPath. So XPath stands for the XML path language, and it is used to find the location of any element on web page using HTML DOM structure. Now, it's not just for the web page. XPath was initially created by or defined by World Wide Web Consortium W3C for finding the location of any element in the XML document. And because the HTML DOM or web page structure is almost similar to the XML, you can utilize XPath to figure out the values or figure out the element location of the element in the HTML DOM structure as well. And that is why this is heavily used in the Selenium locating web element when you are doing automation using Selenium. Now, how is it used? So XPath is used to navigate nodes in any XML document, and XPath uses path-like syntax. So if you see this particular image here, what I have done is this is basically just a tree structure for the folders that you can create on any of your machine. So if you're using, like a Mac or Windows, whenever you create a folder, what you do, you create a folder for the root level. Then within that folder, you might have child subfolders, and then within those child subfolders, you can have multiple child subfolders. So that is basically how this tree structure looks like for any folder creation on any Windows or Mac OS. Now, here, what I have created is a folder with learning, name learning, and then that particular folder has 2 children or 2 subfolders. One is the XPath, another one is the CSS. Now, this XPath folder has another 2 subfolders. One is ABC, second one is XYZ. And then another child of this learning folder, which is the root level, is CSS, and then CSS folder contains another folder with the name ABC. Now, if I want to navigate to the XYZ folder in Windows machine, what I'll do is I'll go to this particular folder, whichever drive this particular folder is. Say for example, C or D, I'll go to that particular drive, go to this particular folder, go to subfolder, XPath, open it, and then I'll be able to see ABC and XYZ. Now I want to go to XYZ, I'll double click on XYZ and reach to the contents of XYZ. Now XPath is nothing different than this particular example. It basically, when you want to traverse to the node or navigate to the node of the document XML or the HTML DOM structure, the logic still remains same. You go to the parent node, then you go to the child, and then to the another child node of that particular child, right? So XPath utilizes similar structure, and it utilizes the path-like syntax. Now let's understand the XML and HTML document here as well. So you can see that this XPath can be used in documents that have similar structure as XML. So initially it was defined by W3C for finding the location of elements in your XML document. Now here, if you see, this is the XML document, the snippet of the XML document. Now the XML document, this is the node, this is the parent node, so currencies, right? So currencies is the parent node which contains the child. So currencies have subnodes, which is currency, and then it also contains a tag last update, right, which stores the value or the updated value for this particular XML document. Now below the currencies, you have currency node, which is the first child, and then another currency node, which is the second child. Now currency node, the first node has certain attributes here, so like name, unit, so name is dollar here, currency code, country, rate, and change. Similarly, the second node has the name, unit, same child nodes that were there for the first node, and then these are the closing braces or closing nodes for the currency and the currencies. So this is how the basic XML structure looks like. Now coming to the HTML document type, right? So in the right hand side, you have the HTML code for any sample web page. Now here, if you see, the root node is HTML, then it has two child node, head and body, which are at the same level. Then you have the child nodes below the head, which is title and link, and below body you have certain other child nodes like h1, and then there is one child node below h1 as well, which is header. Now if I want to traverse to this particular node, which has the value as 1, what will I do? Basically, if it is if we just compare it with the folder structure that we discussed in the previous slide, say for example, this is the root folder HTML. Then to traverse to this particular node, I'll go to the child node of this particular parent. So HTML, what is the child node? Body is the child node which contains this particular element. So I'll go to this subfolder body, right? And then what is the node that contains this particular element is basically nav. So I'll go to the folder nav, and then in that particular folder I'll get this particular file. So this is how you will figure it out using the Windows or the Mac OS or Linux path structure. And XPath is also similar, it's not different. So we will traverse from the root node, we'll go to the child node that contains that particular element, we'll go another child node to figure out where exactly that particular web element is. So we'll say HTML body / nav, and then / the first element, which is the A and the index, right? So I'll explain you all this, or I'll go through the web page and explain you how you can form all these XPath using Selenium XPath, or the XPath that is required to find the Selenium web elements. So that's the basic structure that will be for the XML and HTML. Now this is the basic format of XPath. So XPath starts with 2 / or it can be single /. So I'll explain you the difference between single / and double /. But this is the basic format that will be utilized most of the time. So you start with the tag name, right? And then the square braces @ whatever attribute of that particular element is, and the value of that particular attribute. Now let's understand this by an example. So let me minimize this window here, and here you see that I have opened developer.salesforce.com sign up page, right? So this is the page that I'll be utilizing to explain you how you can figure out the web elements on this particular page using the complex XPath strategies, right? So say for example, I want to identify this web element, the first name text box, and I want to pass the values, some value in this particular name field. So in the Chrome browser, you already have a built-in tool to find the XPath, which is great, and you don't need any external tools as such. But if you want, you can utilize the CrowPath, right? You have that add-in, or the S3, which we'll cover later. But the best thing to learn Selenium XPath or figuring out the XPath is to try on your own, because all these add-ons won't be able to provide you with the complex XPath or the combination of the attribute that you are looking for. And in those sort of cases, it is very important that you know how to build your own XPath. And that's what we are going to cover in this tutorial series. Now, if I want to inspect the web element, right? So I'll just right click on this particular element and click on inspect. Please note that this is the Chrome browser. And once I say inspect, it will automatically highlight that particular web element. Now, from this Chrome, I can directly right click on this web element, go to copy and click on copy XPath or copy full XPath. That is possible, but that's not the purpose of this tutorial. We want to learn how we can write our own XPath to figure out this web element. Now, once you are on this particular page, just say Command F or Control F if it is your Windows machine, and it will open a window here at the bottom, right? So you can say find by string selector or XPath, and here is where you can write your own XPath. So if we go to the format or the basic format of XPath, it starts with the tag name and then square braces, attribute, and the value, right? So let's write our first XPath with this particular format. So it starts with 2 forward slashes, and then it starts with the tag name, right? So what is the tag name for this particular element? So tag name is basically starts with input. That's the tag name. And then anything inside this particular tag, say for example, type, name, ID, value class, max length, placeholder. All these are attributes of this particular element, and you can identify this web element using any of these attributes. So the first thing is the tag name. So I'll say input, right? And then square braces. So you can see as soon as I started with input, it highlighted the first element which has that particular tag input, right? Now it starts with the square braces and then the attribute name. So you just start with @ and the attribute name. So whatever attribute you want to choose, which is unique for this particular web element. So you can say, I'll say type is equal to text, right? Single quotes, and close it. Now you can see that with this particular attribute type is equal to text, there are 5 elements which have this particular type. That is not unique, right? So I need to change the attribute which is unique. So for example, I can try the ID or the name. Okay, so let me try the ID. So I'll just say ID, and what is the value of the ID? It is first and then underscore name, right? And now you can see here 1 of 1 is matching, right? And now we have figured out the XPath for this particular web element, or we have written the XPath for this particular web element which is unique. So simply copy this XPath. I'll go to the robot framework. So here I have simply created a test to explain about the web element locator strategy. So I'll simply use those web elements to show you how we are identifying the web elements and then working or passing the values or clicking on those web elements using the robot framework. So you can utilize the same skill set if you are using if you are doing Selenium with Java or Selenium with Python as well. So let me run this particular web locators test and show you that it inputs the text RCV Academy in that particular text field. So it's opening the browser, maximized it, and you can see that it has typed RCV Academy in the name field, right? And one test case has passed. So this script is simply opening the browser with that particular URL, so developers.salesforce.com in the Chrome browser. Then it maximizes the window. Then I'm using input text and XPath and the value that I'm passing on. So in robot framework, you can just append this as XPath like that. If it is CSS, you just simply change it like CSS. So I'll just stick to XPath because it is XPath tutorial, right? So that's how you will write your first basic XPath, and how you can utilize the basic XPath or the Chrome developer tools to write your own XPath in Chrome. So hope you like the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.